Welcome to Invented Arizona. I'm Paul Tamarkin.
And I'm Taylor Hudson.
We are with Tech Launch Arizona, the office of the University of Arizona that commercializes inventions stemming from research. Today we're talking with Laura McRee. She's a clinical associate professor in the College of Nursing who's been with the University of Arizona for 20 years. That's a long time.
Yeah.
One of the big problems that nurses see, as we've heard from Laura, is that when people have limited mobility, such as if they're confined to a bed or a wheelchair or even long-distance flights, just sitting for long periods of time, they can become prone to developing blood clots in their legs. The technology that Laura has developed, she's called the Bed-Sled, and it's this novel device that promotes the kind of movement in the lower legs that prevents muscle deconditioning, and that can lead to any number of dangerous conditions.
Laura has a doctorate in nursing practice, is a board-certified acute care nurse practitioner, a licensed massage therapist who is trained in both Hawaii and Thailand, and a trained first surgical assistant. That's quite an impressive list of accomplishments.
Well, it's humbling. It's been what's motivated me as far as innovation, I would say. I'm always thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, before we get into the details of your tech, let's talk about the scenarios where limited mobility occurs and what the groups are that are affected by it.
These things can develop at any age. The elderly, 60 and above, are very high risk, but travel longer than 4 hours, sitting for long periods of time. I mean, there's hospitalizations, surgical patients. That's what makes it crucial that blood needs to be not inhibited as far as flow.
For those without a medical background, can you explain how deep vein thrombosis can lead to a pulmonary embolism?
There are variable reasons what can create a blood clot, which is the terminology of a deep vein thrombosis, resulting from what is considered venous stasis, which means slow blood flow. It's like an opportunistic physiological place where a blood clot can form, and if the blood clot does form and then break off and travel, it could lead to it could lead to a blood clot that could lead to not only to the lungs, to the brain and other organs, which potentially could cause death.
So what led you to develop the BedSled technology?
I developed it because I had my own, I had a condition that I was being treated for myself. And currently our choices that are available to us as far as in the hospital setting, in particular, are a medication intervention, which is heparin, that's one term, or low minox, which is a low molecular weight heparin, or what they call sequential compression devices, which are passive. But the consequences of heparin could, again, it's a medication that is an anticoagulant, and there's many side effects that could occur. So the whole focus became how to prevent this, and in a most natural form and in a simple form. And that's why, that's how the concept of the medical device that I've, conceptualized and now creating prototypes and such with has occurred.
Laura, you've invented this device that essentially slides in at the end of the bed and has some foot pads that someone lying down or sitting up can push on to engage their leg muscles. So the idea here is to give people ways to keep moving as opposed to being still for long periods of time, correct?
Movement is really key, not preventing that stasis or that sluggishness of the blood flow. So the BedSled is portable, and it's designed to engage movement, natural movement of the lower legs, where most of these blood clots have potential to form, in the upper part of the leg or the lower part of the leg. That's one component. And the second is resistance training, which will maintain muscle strength, preserve it, or even potentially increase it. And then as part of this, I've also included like an electronic data collector and also an incentive. So uh, one patient can compete with another. But I mean, an incentive for them to see how well they're doing in that. So it has 3 areas. One for movement, one for resistance training or resistance exercise, and then third, incentive.
It's clear that prevention of muscle deconditioning is a key advantage. So, what are some of the other advantages to this product?
The advantages are it's simple. There's not much setup to it. For example, you don't need somebody monitoring it. You don't need a physical therapist or a nurse or something like that to oversee it and such. And it's natural. It's natural to what we know, and will be cost effective. I mean, as far as preventing the devastation of having to get rehabilitation or medication treatments for any condition that results in deconditioned muscles or developing of a blood clot is huge. In the billions as far as So, I think those are benefits that are encouraging. I have no identified side effects to movement or exercise, except benefit.
We know you're in the process of developing a full-scale prototype right now, but let's look farther into the future. Outside of hospitals and clinics, would you say people would one day be able to find this product on the shelves of their regular store?
Oh, absolutely. I would, yes, definitely. No question about it. Like I say, the key is bringing that awareness, and then, as I say, the simplicity of it, how to set it up and how to do it. That would be the aim, is to reach as many potential consumers as possible.
Sounds like there's really a need for something like this in the marketplace, so thanks for talking with us about it.
For more information about the BedSled and all the other great inventors and inventions from the University of Arizona, visit TechLaunch Arizona on the web at techlaunch.arizona.edu.
We are at TechLaunchAZ on Twitter, and you can also find us on Facebook and LinkedIn.
And please subscribe to our monthly newsletter for stories, updates, and events from around the University of Arizona innovation ecosystem.
You can find that at bit.ly/TLA-subscribe. Thanks for listening.